Hello, everyone. You listen to another episode of The Conversation with Tim McKain, where we interview entrepreneurs, community leaders, world changers. And today we have a fellow UNCG alum in the building. Yes, ma'am. Nachela Knox, founder of Go Get Her Productions, done countless films. She's on a TV show. She's killing the game. How you doing, Nachela?
I'm doing real good. And yourself?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well. So, when did your love for acting, for directing begin?
Honestly, I would have to say ever since I was little, my mom will tell you I used to imitate commercials. So if commercials came on, I would learn the commercial line by line and I would just, imitate commercials. I did, church plays growing up for, as long as I can remember. I did theater all throughout middle school and high school. I was always a theater kid, so I was doing shows, every year in high school. I was taking advanced theater classes, so it's always been my thing, honestly, for as long as I can remember.
That's amazing. That's amazing. So, who are some of the famous actors, actresses, directors that you liked when you were a child?
When I was growing up, That's So Raven was a big thing.
Okay.
And so I love me some Raven Simone. She actually, I don't know, I just thought she was just so cool when I was growing up. And I mean, she was a Black girl and, she just was doing her thing. So I really looked up to her. Honestly, I didn't really get into film directing and things like that until I went to college. But I love Spike Lee, Quentin Tarantino. I have a lot of favorites, but those are just some. I like those. And then actors, I like Tessa Thompson. Love me some Tessa Thompson.
Okay.
I think she is very slept on. She's very talented. I like her. Let me see. A little bit of everybody, honestly. It's hard for me to choose favorites because it's I feel like there's good movies and bad movies, and it's sometimes it's not always the actor's fault.
Well, I feel like sometimes when you have a great actor, and I separate it, right? So if Denzel Washington does a movie and the movie's not as good, but he's still doing good, I still consider that a decent movie because it's Denzel in it. Unless it's The Siege, because The Siege was bad. I'm not gonna front. Siege was not good. Okay. Okay. So for all the actors, actresses, you spoke on Raven Simone, you spoke on Tessa Thompson, and then also directors Spike Lee and Quentin Tarantino. Have you ever tried to implement their styles and their creative juices into your own film and into your own acting?
Yes. One of the things I love about Spike Lee is when you watch a Spike Lee film, he's created his way of filming and things like that, that as soon as you see a Spike Lee film come on, you can look at how it was shot and tell it was a Spike Lee film. So I want to do something similar to that. I want to develop Nachela's style.
Mm,
So when you look at something that I've done without seeing my name on it, I did it just because of the way it was shot. So I have been playing around with that a lot, playing around with being more creative. I like, if you've seen any Spike Lee film, he puts a lot of B-roll over his dialogue and he likes little historical, figures and things like that. So that
yes.
to me is interesting. So when I do go out and shoot or direct, I always try to think of something, that's a little different that I
Mm.
can do that'll kind of just separate me from everybody else.
You know what you could probably bring back? Something comes to mind when you talked about having that certain thing where people know it was you without you even saying it. Alfred Hitchcock,
Mm,
the way that he would just walk into the movie scene and he would just be in there for just 1 second.
yeah.
And then he would leave. It's like, that's Alfred Hitchcock.
No, I like that. I like him too. But I don't know. I'm still I like to be very creative with my
Mm,
shots. Um, I've been doing, the indie film thing for a while. And the blessing that I have is I've been in front and behind the camera. So I get to see kind of both worlds. And I feel like on this indie circuit, we always play it by the book because we feel like we have to play it by the book
Mm.
order to be on the Hollywood level. But it's like, from what I've noticed, the people in Hollywood doing what they want. So it's like, why not? Why should we have to stick to some standard when it's like we can be way more creative by just putting our own spin on it? So
What do you think is the standard for the people that don't know? What is the traditional standard?
So most people, if you're just looking at something that's shot, you're gonna have a wide shot or an establishing shot, and then you might have some close-ups of the actors and some over the shoulders. And I mean, that's just pretty much a standard scene. And a lot of indie filmmakers fall into that pattern of, okay, here's my wide, here's my close-up, and then here's my wide, here's my close-up. But I feel like from what I've observed in Hollywood, like one of the things I challenge myself to do in all my shots is have movement in my shots. I feel like, as on the indie circuit, we just get our camera, cut it on, boom, hit play. And it's like, that's not what they're doing. Like, they're moving. The story itself has movement in it. So that's something I always want to incorporate in my own things, and just being more creative, like playing with perspectives. I love seeing things from the camera's perspective, or like having the camera be the person. So I like to do that a lot, but I feel like I said, a lot of people get scared to do stuff like that because they don't want to mess it up or do it wrong.
Yeah, yeah. So you originally started doing movies and short films in college. So was the goal to become a theater actress before even doing film?
The goal was not to become necessarily a theater actress, but just an actress in general. Like, I hadn't had any film acting experience until I got to college. But once I was in college and I was doing the student films and acting in them, I was like, you know what? I really like that. So I went out and got, my agent, and I wanted to do TV and film. But then I want to say my junior year, maybe. Yeah, I think people had always told me that I would make a good director because I would always make little suggestions and things like that. But it took me a long time to accept that I was a good director.
Why?
Because I wanted to act. Like, I wanted to act. That's all I wanted to do. Like, and I was like, no, I can't direct, because if I direct, then that means I failed at acting, and I'm not gonna fail.
Wow.
So I didn't want to do it. I ran from it for a long time because I was like, no, I can't. And then people would make jokes. Like, I knew they were just making a joke, but part of me was like, okay. Like, people used to joke and they would be like, I think you're a better director than an actor. Like,
I know you didn't like that one.
no, I didn't. But as time went on, I was like, you know what? I wouldn't say is that I'm a better director than actor, but because of the type of person I am, like, I like to be in control.
Yes,
When
absolutely.
you're an actor, you are the puzzle piece.
Mm-hmm.
But when you're directing, you're the one putting the puzzle together.
Absolutely.
So I actually found myself enjoying that more than acting. And anybody that knows me or has acted with me, they know I don't like rehearsal. I'm just weird like that. I don't like rehearsal. I love being on stage. I love being in front of the camera. But it's like, I hate rehearsal so much. And like, I had an acting coach tell me one time, we were doing a show, and it was the night of the show. And after the show, he comes up to me and he goes, Nachela, like, what was that? Where was this girl in rehearsal? Like, you just went out there and killed it. Like, you wasn't doing that in rehearsal. And I was like, I really just don't like rehearsal. It just isn't real for me until I'm on the stage. So, but yeah, I mean, experiences like that, and just, there's a joy almost I get from directing that I will never be able to get from acting. And it's just that joy of watching something that you planned out in your head to happen, and you seeing it happen, and it's going exactly the way you planned. That's a great feeling.
Absolutely. So what are some of the differences between, have you ever written a short film but not directed it, or have you always written and directed your own short films or films in general?
So I have written and directed my own short films. I haven't written, well, so I also had the film division for G Davis Productions. So there's projects on there that I have helped write, but not write fully, that I could go and direct. And I've helped other people write scenes in their shorts that I will also go and direct as well.
I got you. I got you. And so, what is your creative process been like? You know, just from being an actress, being in front of the camera, to transitioning to a more creative control. What was that process like of actually sitting back and writing your own scripts and then actually putting it out?
Once I stopped fighting it, I actually really enjoyed it. I like to write. I feel like I like to have some type of truth in every story I create. I have a crazy life, so a lot of my writing is based off of something that's either happened to me.
Really
Yes.
interesting. I've seen some of your films. Okay.
Either something that's happened to me or something that's happened to somebody I know, but there's always an element of truth in every story. So I like to write about my own experiences and other people's experiences because I like real stories, like
Yes.
real stories, things that can be entertaining but still believable. I feel like that's lacking from a lot of stories nowadays. So I definitely like to do that. And then, I mean, I feel like acting helped me direct better
Interesting.
because it's like, because I know what it feels like to be in front of the camera, I can help whoever get to where I need them to be because I know what that feels like. So I feel like I approach actors in a different way. I try to have my actors realize what I want on their own. Because I mean, you can tell somebody, hey, I want you to be sad. But if they don't understand why they're sad or why they should be sad, the performance isn't there. So what I like to do is I just start asking questions like, how you feel right now? Like, how would you feel if this happened? Okay, you would feel sad. Okay, I don't see that. So can I see it? Like, I will go into like a series of questions so the actors kind of know what I'm looking for. So it's not like I'm like, hey, be sad. I need you to cry on this line because to me that's not authentic, and I like authentic performances.
Interesting. I love it. I love it. So, you already talked about how like you already have you've already taken some of your experiences in real life and have put them in your own films. But what what particular film that you've made, whether it be Complicated, The Awakening, or Tainted, that kind of like speaks to you? And like, I mean, every film came from your heart, but which film do you feel like really grasped a sense of who you are, who Nachela Knox is?
Definitely complicated
Mm.
because complicated complicated is complicated, but like I wrote Complicated in the middle of the pandemic in March. I had just moved to Winston and I was just like, man, I want to write something. I want to do something. And I just wrote Complicated. And it's based on some of the relationships that I've had in the past.
Right.
But the characters in it, I kind of exaggerated them a little bit. And what I like about Complicated is the first project that I put out that was everything was me. Like I wrote it, I directed it, I acted in it, I edited the project, I came up, with the shots. Like I literally did everything. And I wanted Complicated to kind of show people, I do this. Like I wanted it to be good, and I like that it's a comedy. I feel like if you don't know me personally, I don't think you would realize that I'm a comedic person. Like I'm a very sarcastic person, and I like to have fun. I feel like on the surface, if you don't know me, you may not assume that. So I love the humor in Complicated because I felt like that kind of could, if you watched it and analyzed it, you could kind of see that's how I really am. Like I like that sarcastic, kind of twisted, dark humor. So
Interesting.
definitely.
So would that be your favorite type of directorial role? Would it be to do comedic films, or would it be in any kind of film?
I like comedic films, but I like comedic films that aren't supposed to be comedic. Like
Interesting.
I didn't write complicated with the intention of I'm gonna write a comedy. I just wrote it. Like I just wrote it how I normally write. And once I started filming it and editing, I was like, you know what? This is funny. It wasn't supposed to be funny.
And
Like it was supposed to be more like I really like thrillers. So it was supposed to have that kind of feel to it. But like I
you
said, I'm
did.
a comedic person. And sometimes I can't help, like I'm not trying to be funny, but it just comes off that way.
That's
So
good.
I don't know. I love comedy though. I just hate forced comedy.
Mm, okay, okay. Interesting. I see. In what movie do you think would be forced comedy? Like, what would you say if you it's just from a directorial eyes, from an actor's eyes? What film would be like a forced comedy?
That's a good question.
We'll go to an older film if that makes you feel comfortable. Not maybe not nothing maybe not nothing anything recently or anything. Maybe something older.
Hmm. I feel like there's so many. I'm trying to think of one that was
There's so many.
like a bad one where you can really get the point across.
An Adam Sandler movie.
You know what? Adam Sandler.
Hey, I love Adam Sandler though. I just to put that out there. I love Adam Sandler.
Okay, we're gonna for Adam Sandler, for example. I
Okay.
think Adam Sandler is funny,
Mm-hmm.
but you know his movies are like kind of stupid, like,
Yes.
and it's that stupid fun. Like stupid funny is like
It's
its own
funny.
genre in
Yes.
itself. But to me, that's not as funny as something more realistic, like the movie Grown Ups, also Adam Sandler, right?
Wow.
But Grown Ups wasn't like super stupid. Like it was
True.
definitely funny, but
Mm-hmm.
it still was more like realistic. It wasn't like I don't know if
Happy
you saw the movie.
Madison.
Yeah, exactly. Like because I thought Grown Ups was a good
It
movie.
was.
I like comedy like that, or like I mean, I don't watch some movies that I think are funny that probably weren't supposed to be funny.
Okay.
I don't know if you ever seen this horror movie. It's called, I can't remember what it's called. It's about they go see their grandma, but it's not really their grandparent.
Nah, I haven't seen that one.
Haven't seen it?
Mm-mm.
The Visit. It's called The Visit.
No, I don't watch horror movies at all.
No, I thought The Visit was hilarious. I thought it was a comedy, but a lot of people think it's a horror movie. But you
Wow.
should check it out. It's not scary. It's hilarious.
I mean, I'll watch. I wouldn't say that I don't watch horror movies, but I really don't watch horror movies. I really don't. That's not my thing. Um. So, what is success to Nachela Knox, and what are your personal keys to success?
Success to me is being happy, healthy, and always creating and thriving and just being the best that I can be, you know, and making sure everything is in line with, you know, my personal goals and not getting so lost in the success that I lose myself.
That's a big one.
And the keys to that to me, I'm a huge believer. Well, I believe in God, number one. Number two, I believe in the law of attraction. And I try to surround myself with positive things and motivational things every day. So I have like a motivational app on my phone and it sends me like quotes every day. I usually post them, but it sends me a quote. I like that because it's like, it's always being motivated. Like if you don't believe you can do it, nobody else is.
Right.
So I feel like I have to be my biggest fan and I have to constantly, you know, promote myself and, you know, tell myself like, you got this, you got this, you got this. That and not getting lazy and
Mm.
because that's so easy to do. So anytime I feel myself getting too dependent on something or too comfortable, I'm like, okay, I got to change this. Like, I still work a regular job. So my goal is to get off that job and, do the filming the full time. But it's almost like you can get comfortable with getting a check every 2 weeks. And it's like you kind of just falling into it like, well, I'm gonna work these hours and I'm gonna get this check. And then sometimes it's hard to balance that and be creative, because yes, I do make money from film, but it's not enough money at the moment to do it full time.
Right.
And that can get not depressing, but it can make you hesitant, because it's like, do I want to go spend all my time on this knowing I'm only going to get paid X amount of dollars, but I can go to work and they're going to pay me this amount of money. So sometimes it can be a struggle. And like, I work kind of late. Like, I usually work 11:30 to 8. So that's literally the whole day.
Yeah.
So I'm at work the whole day, and then I'm up till 1, 2 in the morning doing the creative side. It's just a bit of a balance.
I got you. So what's that scheduling process like for somebody who also wants to be an entrepreneur and they feel like that they are struggling with the time? They don't know if it's worth it or not. So like, what are some of the things that you would tell them, and also the process of actually creating that schedule?
Number one, be realistic with yourself, because I not recently, for about the last year or so, I tried to be more in touch with my health and things like that. So I started doing keto. I lost sorry, this is dark. I lost like 50 pounds, and I started exercising and doing all that, and I have to maintain that, and that was a bit of a struggle. That was of a struggle when I got out of school, because my lifestyle was different. I wasn't walking to class and being a college student. So, I had to adjust to how do I maintain that in a 9 to 5. So my schedule normally consists of, I wake up around 7:30. I take the dog out for his walk, and we walk about a mile. It's a mile, the whole complex. I come back and I do my workout routine. And then by that time, it's probably about 9 or 10. I will make dinner for that day, and then I'll take a shower, and then I will go to work, and then my dinner will be done because I made it that morning. So I eat dinner, and then come 8 o'clock, it's sending out emails for the G. Davis company, or is working on a script, or is making a schedule or budget or shot list. And I do that up until about 1 or 2 in the morning, depending on how much work I have to do. And I would just tell people, be realistic, because everybody can't do that. Everybody can't wake up at 7 in the morning and go walk and run and then go to work and then stay up to 2. Like, a lot of people can't do that, and that's okay. But you have to figure out what is it that you can do that's gonna help you manage both. Because some people honestly can't. And I would say this: if you can't manage your regular job and whatever you're doing for your, entrepreneurship, then you need to rethink about which one you really want to do. Because I feel like if you want whatever that end goal is, you're gonna make it happen. Because making excuses and complaining, and it doesn't help. Either you're gonna do it or you're not. And that's how I look at it.
Absolutely. I love it. Okay. Final question. Top 5 best films of all time. I'm putting you on the spot. Top 5 best films.
That's really hard. Okay. Top 5. There's so many good films.
Okay, how about this? Top 5 comedy. That's tough too, but just top 5 comedy, just straight comedy.
Comedy? Well, I love the Friday series. I feel like that's just classic.
Friday. Okay. Is that number 1, the greatest?
Ooh, I wouldn't call it the greatest. It's hard to label a number one, but they're
Okay.
definitely in my top 5. I love those series. I thought that was like it was stupid too, but it worked. Like, I like them. I used to love White Chicks when it first came out.
Okay, that's a good one. Yeah.
That I like Norbit when it first came out.
3.
I feel like Norbit was hilarious and it didn't get the credit it needed when it first came out.
Interesting.
Let me see. That's 3.
That's 3. Mm-hmm. 2 more. We going Jim Carrey. We going Adam Sandler.
I like Jim Carrey.
That's another kind of crazy funny. Stupid funny. What you say?
Little Nicky.
Little Nicky? I don't know. Oh wait, that's the one that just is that the one that just came out?
No, it didn't just come out, but they did just recently put it on Netflix.
Little Nicky. I don't know that. I might not know that one. Little Nicky. That's 4. Okay. And 5.
I wouldn't add it. It's so hard when people ask me questions like this.
I feel you. My I say my top 5. Woo. Top 5 comedy. I wouldn't do 1 through 5. I couldn't do that. So I just named 5. I would probably have to put Friday in there. I probably put one of the Wayans brothers movies in there. Let me see. Yeah. Comedy. Probably Blanket Man. Let me see. Adam Sandler movie. Probably put in I Now Pronounce You Chuck and Larry. That one was funny. A Cary Grant movie because he's my favorite comedic actor. I think he did a movie called Arsenic and the Old Lace. That was like 1944. And it is tough. Then I think I would put a Martin Lawrence movie. I probably put the movie what was he? He was dressed up. He was a cop and he was dressed up like the woman.
Oh,
Big Mama. Big Mama. Yeah, Big Mama. Yeah.
That was a good one.
Yeah. That's my list. Those are my list.
I've seen some comedies or recent comedies I thought they weren't too bad though. Like Netflix actually comes out with a lot of good little comedic shows and
yes,
series that I think are pretty interesting.
Oh yeah, and Jim Carrey too. Jim Carrey's in my top 5 movies. I'm not sure which one, but it's like he's got so many. But I'm gonna put Liar Liar.
That's a good one.
Yeah, that's top 5 comedian. Don't judge me because people are like, what? That's your top 5? That's crazy. But yeah, that's around my top 5. So yeah. Where can people did you give your last one or no?
I haven't thought about it.
I got you. No worries.
I can tell you a film I really do like though.
Okay.
It's not a comedy, but if you haven't seen Crash, then
Crash? Oh, if anyone hasn't seen that movie, that's the movie came out in 2004. It had like different people's perspectives and that's a great film. Is that something that you would want to do potentially, a Crash type?
I love films like that. I love films that challenge the viewer. So
absolutely. So where can they find you on social media, Nachela? And when are you planning on making another film?
So you can find me on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter at Nachela Knox. And then my company page, Go Getter, and it's spelled Go Get and then HER. That throws people off sometimes. What is Go Getter Productions? That's also on Instagram and Facebook as well. Actually just did a photo shoot for the website yesterday. So I will be dropping photos and the official link to the website here very soon. And I'm definitely working on a project now. I've actually went back and revised one of my older scripts with like police brutality and things like that. So I'm definitely interested in producing that soon. But I've also decided to dedicate every day to writing something. So I've actually been working on a series titled Delusional.
Interesting.
And I'm also working on another piece about gentrification because that's something that is happening in my hometown. So I had some ideas about how I wanted to go about that. So definitely will see another project from me or an original project from me, probably at least 2 to 3 within the year.
I cannot wait to see it. For everyone who does not know, Nachela Knox is an incredible actress and director. I'm telling you, every film she does, she either opens your mind or she just makes you laugh. You know, I mean, it's incredible what she's doing at a very young age. Thank you very much, Nachela, for your time.
Thank you for having me. You got the
Absolutely.
ability too. I'm proud of you.
Thank you. Thank you. I really appreciate it. You have a good one.
You too.
Peace.